Look around you, at the shelves of your pantry, and at the scraps you discard daily into your trash can. What you see as waste or mere basic sustenance, nature sees as the fundamental building blocks of a biological revolution. For decades, you have been led to believe that to have a productive garden, to see your plants explode with vigor, you needed complex laboratories, colorful plastic bags full of chemical granules, and NPK mathematical formulas that look more like access codes to a system that doesn't belong to you. But today, the farce ends. Today, we switch off the monitors of industrial agronomy and return to the epicenter of true sovereignty, your kitchen. The answer to eternal fertility and the unshakable health of your plants was never found at the counter of an input store. It was always hidden beneath a potato skin, in the steam of cooked rice, and in the water you discard without a second thought. We are about to explore rustic biotechnology, a body of knowledge that replaces any synthetic NPK and returns to you the authority over your piece of land. Prepare yourself, for what you are about to learn today is not merely a gardening technique, it is an act of emancipation. To understand why the answer was in your kitchen, we must first unmask the swindle of modern NPK. The industrial system taught you that plants eat nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium as if they were machines being fueled. They reduced the complex life of the soil to a simplistic arithmetic so they could sell you the solution in packages. Yet in real nature, the kind that has covered ancestral forests for millions of years, the plant does not consume raw minerals. It participates in a sophisticated biological negotiation. It exchanges the sugars it produces through photosynthesis for nutrients that have already been processed, chewed, and chelated by an invisible army of microorganisms. Your mistake, and the mistake of millions of people, was trying to feed the plant directly, ignoring the cook. The cook is the soil. And what the chemical industry did was kill the cook and try to sell you processed food in a biological ICU. When you use synthetic NPK, you are injecting a drug directly into the plant's vein that makes it lazy, weak, and eventually dependent. The roots stop seeking symbiosis, the cell walls become fragile, and pests appear like vultures over a body that has already begun to die from within. Rustic biotechnology reverses that logic. We will not feed the plant. We will reactivate the cook using what you already have at hand. The foundation of this revolution is cold anaerobic digestion, a protocol that the masters of the East preserved while the West lost itself in petrochemicals. This method does not require the physical effort of hot composting, which burns nutrients and demands constant turning of soil piles. What we will do in your kitchen is capture the energy contained in starch and transform it into a reactor of life. Why the potato? Why rice? Because starch is the perfect ignition fuel for native microorganisms. It simulates the root exudates that plants release to attract allies. By cooking a potato and using it as the base for your microbial liquid, you are broadcasting a high-powered radio signal to all the beneficial fungi and bacteria in the region, saying, "The feast has begun." Step closer to your stove and behold the first pillar of your independence, the inoculum. While the market wants you to buy flasks of bacillus isolated in distant laboratories, rustic biotechnology teaches you to seek IMO, indigenous microorganisms. Go to the shadiest corner of your backyard or to the nearest patch of woods. Look for white mold beneath the leaves. That delicate mycelium is the defense software of your region. It has already survived the droughts, the frosts, and the local pests. It is the source code of resistance. Bringing that mold into your kitchen and mixing it with the cooked potato is the equivalent of creating a custom elite army for your soil. The second pillar is ionic mineralization. The kitchen offers us mineral salt, or if you have access to it, seawater. Microbial life, just like human life, does not survive on calories alone. It needs trace minerals to build enzymes and cellular structures. Chemical NPK gives you three elements. Rustic biotechnology, through rock dust and marine salts, delivers 92. It is the difference between a fast food diet and a real feast of mineral density. When these minerals enter your rustic biological reactor, they are chewed by the microorganisms and transformed into chelates. For the plant, Absorbing a mineral chelated by your elixir is as easy as breathing. Observe the purity of the process. Rustic biotechnology demands rigor. The water you use is the blood of this system. If you use chlorinated water straight from the tap, you are sabotaging your own revolution. Chlorine is an agent of death, designed to sterilize. Let the water rest, let the poison evaporate, or use the rainwater that the sky delivers to you for free. Technical sovereignty resides in respect for the invisible details. Prepare your barrel, clean your utensils with the same reverence of an ancient apothecary. What we are doing is biological alchemy, transmuting kitchen scraps into liquid gold for the earth. The execution protocol is simple, but it demands presence. Step 1. The fecundation pouch. Take a thin cotton cloth. Place in it the potato you cooked, mash it to release the starch. Add the handful of forest soil with the white mold. Add the rock dust. This pouch is the epicenter. Step 2. The immersion. In your barrel of clean water, submerge the pouch and begin to massage it. Feel the texture. Watch the water cloud over. You are releasing life. Hang the pouch so that it does not touch the bottom, allowing fermentation to occur in a balanced way. Step 3. The active waiting. Cover with a cloth. On the second or third day, the surface will be taken over by a vibrant white foam. That smell of wet earth, of ferment, of pulsing life, is the sound of the chemical ICU being shut down in your garden. Dilution is your final master lesson. The elixir you created in your kitchen is too potent to be used pure. It is a concentrate of vital force. Dilute 1 part to 50 or 100 parts of water. Apply to the soil in the late afternoon. Strong sunlight is an enemy to the microorganisms that have just found their new home. When you apply this liquid, you are not merely watering the earth, you are installing an external immune system. Within 72 hours, the visual miracle occurs. Plants that were pale, stagnant, abandoned by conventional agronomy, awaken with a waxy gleam in their leaves. This is metabolic shielding in action. The cell walls become thick, rich in silicon and minerals, rendering the plant impenetrable to sucking insects. Why does the system hide the fact that the answer was in your kitchen? Because the market cannot patent a potato. They cannot put a barcode on the white mold of the forest. They profit from your ignorance and your dependence. By mastering rustic biotechnology, you break the flow of capital leaving your pocket toward the petrochemical companies. You become a producer of value, a curator of ecosystems. Your garden ceases to be a cost and becomes a biological database. Each application increases the complexity of the underground fungal networks, the true Internet of Nature that connects all of your plants in a network of mutual aid. In the world of 2026, where food inflation and the cost of fertilizers are used as tools of control, possessing a microbial reactor in your backyard is having an insurance policy for your family. Real wealth is not measured in paper currency, but in the capacity of your soil to produce nutritional density without depending on external inputs. Water, starch, earth, and biology. This is the quadrant of freedom. Observe your plants. They will begin to communicate with you. Leaves that once wilted at the first sign of sun now remain firm, as mycorrhizae have expanded the reach of the roots in search of deep water. Pests that were once a nightmare now ignore your garden, finding no weak plants to attack. You now understand that the answer was always there, between the stove and the sink. Nature is not something that happens out there on the industrial farm. Nature is a process that you can govern from your own home. By applying this elixir, you perform an act of silent rebellion. You declare that your territory is sovereign. Imagine the satisfaction of harvesting a fruit that contains 10 times more minerals than one bought at the market, knowing that the cost of production was zero. This is what we call technical peace. Technical resistance demands that you remain vigilant. Do not be seduced by promises of chemical accelerators or magic solutions in bottles. Trust your reactor. Trust the microorganisms that evolved over millions of years before the first laboratory was ever built. If the smell is of life, proceed. If the smell is of death, clean and start over. Nature rewards rigor and observation, not haste. This is the path of emancipation. Let us go deeper still into the invisible mechanics that occur when this liquid reaches the rhizosphere. What we are doing is restoring the redox potential of the soil. Chemical fertilizers oxidize the earth, burn organic matter, and expel carbon into the atmosphere. The microbial elixir does the opposite. It sequesters carbon and fixes it in the form of glomalin and stable humus. You are literally building new earth from the air and the scraps of your kitchen. You are reversing the desertification process that modern agriculture has imposed upon the planet. Think about the silicon you released from the rock dust through the acidic action of the bacteria. That silicon deposits itself beneath the epidermis of the leaves, creating a layer of biological glass. This not only deters pests, but increases the efficiency of photosynthesis, allowing the plant to make better use of light even on cloudy days. It is high technology, but without microchips. It is biological engineering, but without patents. Food sovereignty begins in the invisible world. If your soil is alive, your lineage is strong. If your soil is sovereign, you are free from the fluctuations of a market that does not care about your health. But nutrition is only one part of the journey. What use is having the most vibrant soil in the world if you plant seeds that were designed to produce no offspring? In our next chapter, we will enter the domain of heirloom seeds and guerrilla genetic selection. We will learn to save the code of life so that the cycle of abundance is never interrupted. Keep your manual of rustic microbiology always at hand. Keep your barrels active, for a soil that stops receiving biological life tends to return to a state of inertia. And above all, keep your spirit vigilant against the false conveniences of chemical consumption. Technical resistance is a daily commitment to biological truth. It is the understanding that we are part of a system of eternal regeneration and not merely extractors of resources. As you finish your first batch of this elixir, look at the white bubbles bursting on the surface of the barrel. Each one releases a little carbon dioxide that has been transformed by microscopic intelligence. There, in that small movement, resides the force that moves mountains and sustains forests. You are now the guardian of that process. You are no longer a slave to NPK, you are a master of symbiosis. The time of dead earth and dependence ends today, in your kitchen. Your productive silence begins now. Go to your backyard, feel the texture of the soil, and know that from today forward, it will never be the same. It will be vibrant, it will be dense, and above all, it will be yours. The answer was always there. You only needed the courage to look and the technique to act. Hold firm in your execution, respect the fermentation times. Do not dilute below what is recommended, for the potency of life demands respect. Observe how the birds and beneficial insects will begin to frequent your space, drawn by the vibrational signature of an ecosystem that has begun to breathe again. This is the proof that you are not merely cultivating plants, you are restoring a fragment of paradise. True wealth is autonomy. The autonomy of knowing that whatever happens in the financial system or in the global supply chains, your soil will continue to produce, your plants will continue to be protected, and your kitchen will continue to be the most advanced laboratory in the world. Rustic biotechnology is our weapon of peace. It is our manifesto of existence in a world of chemical simulations. May this liquid be the baptism of your new journey as a sovereign farmer. May each watering be a reminder that the intelligence of nature is infinitely superior to any human laboratory invention. And may your success be living proof that the answer was, in fact, in your kitchen. Keep your reactor pulsing. Keep your soil alive. Keep yourself sovereign. Until the next step of our technical emancipation, the resistance has only just begun.